Travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. Welcome back to another Drive-In Talk. Again, I'm going to keep doing this for a little while. Sorry about that, but we're doing a little bit of self-promo. But don't forget that all of my non-Korea footage and some fresh Korea footage and random world travel videos and all that stuff are now on my new travel channel. It is called Drive with Mina. It would be awesome if you could go subscribe, like, share, and all that fun jazz to help the algorithm gods. I would greatly appreciate it. So yeah, anyway, this week we're starting a new book series, and it's mostly going to be a rave review rather than a rant and rave, but I just thought I'd, throw some positivity out there. The book we are talking about today is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I kind of mentioned this book series a little bit in my Throne of Glass series review. If you want to check out my review of that entire series, go check the card or the Booktube or Throne of Glass playlist. But yeah, I technically read this book a series a few years ago, and it's my favorite. Love it. But the way the review is written, it's gonna sound like I'm just reading it for the first time, so kind of deal with it because I don't feel like modifying my review. But yeah, what this book is about, let's give a quick blurb read and then we'll get into it. So, when 19-year-old huntress Farah kills a wolf in the woods, a terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows only about from legends, Farah discovered that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal, immortal fairies who once ruled her world. At least, he's not a beast all the time. As she adapts to her new home, her feelings to the fairy Tamlin transform from icy hostility into fiery passion that burns through every lie she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. But something is not right in the fairylands. An ancient wicked shadow is growing, and Farah must find a way to stop it, or doom Tamlin and his world forever. Alright, now there might be some spoilers. If you haven't read, come back later, you know the deal. Anyway, let's get into my thoughts on the book. There is so much to talk about this book and the series, and while some people didn't like it, as with any book, most talk I've heard was not only positive, but bragging about its praise. And I gotta say, after all, my friends, mostly my best friend in particular, raving about this book series, I finally got myself the box set, and I was not disappointed. It's been a while since I delved back into a fantasy book series, and this was a great start. It hooked me from the first chapter, and it was hard to put down. I'm enchanted by this world and its characters. I love the world building in this book. Every bit of info we needed was delivered right at the right time. The pacing was well done, and Farah's character was believable. I also like the fact that she was illiterate. It was an interesting character trait. I will admit I both saw the ending coming and not coming all at the same time. When Farah died, didn't see that coming because we all know there are more books. I instantly knew that they would revive her. What I didn't foresee, however, was that they turn her Fae. But it makes sense since she's going to be around all the Fae for a while, and growing old would take away from the spiciness I'm told is coming in later books. I love how not once throughout the book, despite later falling in love with Tamlin, it never once crosses Farah's mind that she wants to be Fae in order to stay with Tamlin. She knew she was human and was fine with that. Even without knowing she could become a Fae, she never once wished, oh, I wish there was a way for me to become immortal. I love that about her. Looking at you, Twilight. I still loved reading Twilight back in the day, however, but yeah. The only thing I could see an issue with was the age gap, because oh boy, if people thought the age gap in Twilight was bad, that's nothing going on with Tamlin and friends, but they look young and their story is great and they're hot and it's fantasy, so I suspend my disbelief that someone who is many centuries old can fall in love with a 19-year-old human, which is still young by human standards. Farah must be like seconds old newborn to Tamlin. Aside from that, I'm hooked and I can't wait to dive into the rest of the books. How about you guys, my fellow humans? Have you read this series? And what are your thoughts? Having read Court of Thorns and Roses and the Throne of Glass series, they're both amazing, but ACOTAR still holds up in my opinion, and the last book in this series, which we'll get to, is my all-time favorite book, and we'll get into why when we get there. So yeah. Anywho, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about stuff, be sure to follow me in all your favorite socials, including Drive with Mina, my second YouTube channel. Links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye!